We are live. So, welcome tonight, everyone. So, Raya, um, thank you. Thank you for being here in this clarity call, for having the courage to show up. I just want to acknowledge you. You were reaching out for help, and this was a concern that you are feeling, you're experiencing right now. Patterns that are repeating over and over. Uh, Directly the message you sent me, as you could see. So before we begin, I'll just make this super quick. This is also for myself. I'm just gonna take a very deep breath. Whatever energy, whatever is in you, just let in that good energy, that air, and then letting it go. I'm just gonna take one more. Maybe I just need a little more. Clearing it, letting it go. So you can take another one if you feel the need, and I'll guide you as we proceed moving forward. Okay, so before we
Sounds
begin,
good.
if it's okay, I'll just set a very quick intention for tonight, Raya. So I see you nodding. So, Holy Spirit, please guide us tonight, whichever you believe in, God, the universe, a greater spirit, a greater power. Please guide us tonight. Help Raya with her patterns repeating over and over. May we get clarity and an answer that she needs to move forward tonight. All right. So you can open your eyes, you can relax. Before we begin, Raya, if there's anything you feel like you want to just get off your chest, any feeling, anything that you just want to let out, uh, feel free to do so right now.
So I'm feeling a mix of emotions.
Okay.
Everyone to know, I'm in hospital, and it's the third time I've been brought to hospital um, because they diagnosed me with BPAD, or bipolar affective disorder. So
Okay.
for those who might not know, that would be like high highs and low lows. And basically, my life is just like one big roller coaster ride of emotions. And yeah, I am frustrated because it was a label that was imposed upon me that I did not choose. So I had to grapple with the label and being labeled that, especially people considering it as an illness, or as a, yeah, as an illness, or as a disability, or as a disease, mental health illness, disease, whatever. So now there's this stigma that is placed upon me, and people who aren't familiar or haven't been exposed to people with a lot of mental health struggles, there's a lot of judgment and stigma around that. So I think everything happens for a reason and purpose. And as an energy healer and practitioner and worker myself, and also a coach, I know that everything happens for a reason in perfect divine timing, for us to learn the lessons we need to learn in order to move forward to whatever path it is that is meant for us. So I am trusting and surrendering to the process, that I am learning everything I need to learn in order to become a better coach, a better life coach, a better healer, and someone who is actually able to hold space for people who are suffering from anxiety, depression, and other mental labels such as schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder, um, psychosis, all of that. I will talk about that on my podcast one day and like open a whole big can of worms. But tonight, I'm just in hospital. I've been feeling frustrated because I do not like taking the medication. I feel like there are natural ways for me to heal if and only if I have the right support and the right people around me. But I have no choice as of the moment but to comply, So I am just trusting the process and trusting that everything will be all right. And if indeed it is found that I do need medication, that I pray that I find just the right one for me that will enable me to thrive with this condition that they say. Um, I don't believe bipolar. It can be a curse, as with anything, but I believe it's a gift. I believe everything is a matter of perspective, and you get to decide how you choose to view things, how you choose to perceive it. If you want to play the victim or if you want to be the hero of your own story. And for me, I want to be the hero of my own story. I don't want to play the victim card. So
Yeah.
while it is nice that I get attention and more understanding with this condition of mine, there's also a lot of judgment and stigma that comes with it. And like my credibility or integrity as a coach or as a healer might be put into question because of this label. But for me, I am a person, I am a human being with real struggles. And because of my struggles, I am able to understand on a really deep level. Like I can understand people who are suicidal and have gone through the lowest of lows just because I have been there myself. And people who are on the highest highs and just having fun and enjoying life, like I can get on with them too. So because for me it is a gift to be able to experience this whole wide spectrum of emotions and of life, and I think that is beautiful. And I find it sad that they think they need to sedate me just so I will become docile and compliant because I am awakening humanity. I am stirring up the emotions of people with the work that I do. And emotions is humanity's biggest gift. If somebody tells you emotion is humanity's weakness, that is a lie. It is actually our biggest gift as human beings. We are not robots, we are not AI. Emotions are our gifts. This is how we connect person to person, individual to individual. And this is why I called out to Martin tonight for help because I am feeling alone in my journey. I am feeling lonely in my journey. It's not an easy it's not an easy task to be a space holder and healer for many because I feel like I have been helping so many that now I need to be cared for in return. I need to be giving myself the same care and love as I have been giving so generously to people. And so this is why I am on this call with you, Martin. I would love for you to hold space for me as I show up in my rawness and vulnerability and and you will see my breakdown if I do break down, you know? I some wise lady named Ali told me the parts where we struggle are just as important to be seen as the parts when we have it all together. And I think on social media, we try to put on this facade, the highlight reels of our lives where we just celebrate the good things and it's taboo or, you shouldn't share the bad things. But this is how we all learn that, hey, not everybody's life is perfect. Like we all go through the same thing, and this is what makes us human. This is what brings us closer together. This is what enables us to relate to each other.
Wow. I love it, Raya, what you just shared. Also, you mentioned you have a podcast or a platform. So, what is that called? Just so the people can also discover who you are in your sharings.
So it's called Big Talk, Light Talk on Spotify. I also upload some episodes on YouTube. Reach Your Astra, that's what my name Raya stands for, RYA, Reach Your Astra, which Astra stands for your star, your highest star, your biggest, brightest version of yourself, your highest self. So that's the name of my coaching, Reach Your Astra Coaching, because I am all about personal development. I believe that we are all perfect. perfectly imperfect, but at the same time, we are also capable of so much expansion and stretching of our potential and abilities and capabilities in this world. And I believe that we are put on this planet to explore the extent of like how far we can go. Like in the Moana song, how far can I go? How far we can take it, just how much we can accomplish and achieve in this lifetime with the time that we are given, with the resources that we are dealt with. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And
So
we're all dealt with different cards. You know, some are born richer than others, some are born poorer than others, but it's a matter of how you make do with those resources that you're given and what you decide to do with all of that. And it's about what kind of life you decide to build and create for yourself. If you want it to be a life filled with drama and toxicity just because you like it, or if you're ready to live a life of abundance, prosperity, peace, love, and joy. And this is the kind of life that I am aiming to create for myself as well as for the clients who come to me.
all right. So Raya, I just wanna um take it in what Raya just shared here now. So you can find Raya, Big Talk Light Talk on Spotify. That's her podcast. Also Raya or Reach Your Astra. That's her initials, her name. On YouTube. I believe I've been on a podcast with her a year ago and then recently too. And I'll just repeat, right, what Raya shared in the start. The point of this clarity call is sharing real, raw, and authentic conversations. Raya said we're in different places. So BPAD, the bipolar, that condition, some people like Raya, she is a living example of it. And you mentioned you're in a hospital right now over there in Australia. So it's very real. So what I went through was depression. It wasn't clinically diagnosed. This was back in 2014 after the loss of a 9-year relationship. I didn't know that. I didn't know the impact mentally, emotionally. Mental health wasn't like very public, as Raya mentioned, here in the Philippines, especially. So I just had to figure it out on my own. I didn't know what anxiety, depression was. Some people, they get hit hard with the loss of, let's say, a dog or the loss of a job, a career. Some people get injured, so they can't play basketball anymore for the rest of their life. Very similar. I lost a person in my life who meant a lot. I was 27. 9 years was like one third of my life. I believed hook, line, and sinker on like love, true love, happily ever after, forever, all that bullshit. But as you see, I'm still laughing because I have no regrets. It hurt a lot. And some people, as Raya said, are in different places, right? Some end up addicts, really deeper clinically. Some people can't even show up like Raya, meaning they might be in the hospital or rehab and they can't even turn on the camera. So Raya has a lot of strength and courage actually just to come out and share openly. That's what I want to honor here. Third time here in the hospital actually. So this mental health, I'm all for sharing not just our wins, right, on Facebook and public. I also want to share the ugly side of life. I mean that in a good way because most of our life is lived in the valley or in the dark, ugly places. It's not in like the mountaintops, the peaks, right? They're very few, and we enjoy them. We appreciate them as well. So for tonight, I just wanted to listen first to Raya's sharing and on this topic of patterns repeating. I feel like Raya already disrupted or changed the pattern because I could relate. I recently had a down day. I was supposed to actually spend time with your cousin, with Mark, because he was going to share in an event with Pam. So I wanted to support him and Pam. And acts of service is one of my love languages. So I had a down day. Raya can relate to this. When mentally and physically, you just feel dark. Like you just go dark. Like I can't explain why. If you force me to drive the car, I might crash it. Something bad will happen. It's even hard for me to explain it to your cousin actually, who's been through a lot. People who know Mark's story, magician, he lost an eye. He went through, you know, life-threatening situation. So it's hard to explain it already to other people who've been through a lot. So I had a recent down day just 2 days ago, I think, and like Raya reaching out, I felt very alone. I didn't feel like anyone would understand. So I'm here to just be with Raya and listen. And I
Martin,
believe, yeah, go.
if I may just say, I
Hmm.
hope you never feel like you are alone. You can always message me or call me anytime. I'm gonna be here for you, brother.
So I don't feel alone right now. That's why I'm smiling, and uh, it's the irony. And I'm not trying to say misery loves company. Like let's all the depressed people gather together. The point of this clarity call is an intention. We're helping each other, right? If we're there in a dark place, in a painful place, right? We're actually helping each other lift each other up, get stronger, get through it together. So it's like that. I saw this recent post of like a race, people with like paralysis or spinal condition, they tie their leg together, then they do a three-legged race. So it's like they both carry each other to do like a fun run together. So I
That's
found that so
fine.
cool. Yeah, so it's like even though you feel damaged, broken, or injured, you could actually help another person get through it together. I saw that super recent cerebral palsy, or like some paralysis or some spinal injury, and then they do a three-legged race together. So I love that example recently that I saw. So while Raya's writing, I also
That's a good activity. So I'm writing it down so I can use it in
yeah.
one of my future workshops.
So as Raya is writing, when she was talking, and if you saw me looking down, I was actually writing. That's how I listen when I do this clarity call. No? It's the way I actually pay attention to the details, BPAD, third time in the hospital, um, how you choose to perceive it, because you can understand it on a deep level as someone who has experienced it. I cannot I cannot remember all that unless I write it down. So like what Raya was doing. So again, I'm gonna go back to the intention. Raya already shifted the pattern. So one very practical tip that Raya just did was she just expressed it. Now, what if it's all dark, heavy energy? For me, I could take it because I went through training. That's why you reach out to people who could take it. If you want a positive shift, which is not forced, right? If you don't feel it, don't do it. I started gratitude journaling. So you might have heard Raya already express positive or gratitude here. She said, I believe it's a gift, right? So instead of an illness or a disease, she mentioned that it's a gift. So my depression, I'll give you a real life example, like Martin, make it real, and then I'll give it back to Raya. Martin, make it real. How do you make depression a good thing? It's like what she said. I started to be kinder to people. People who are weak, I don't look down on them like some immature way, like, ah, you're weak, you need to be strong. So like calling Blade, only the strong survive, but this is evolution. Fuck you, right? You're gonna die. No, like the way I look at them is I was also weak. I had a hard time getting out of bed. For me to just brush my teeth and make my bed every day takes a lot of effort. Now
Do
Raya's in a
you,
hospital. A
do you know,
fucking hospital.
Martin?
Yeah.
Martin, when I was on my medication, I
Hmm.
felt that same way you described. I couldn't get out of bed. I was in
Hmm.
there whole day. I couldn't even take care of myself, make food, eat food, brush my teeth, do laundry, do nothing. I was worthless, useless. Like that was the effect the medication had on me.
And that may even be more severe because literally you're taking medicine, the meds, no? So that has a physical impact, chemical impact on your body.
On the
So
brain. Yeah.
and the brain too. So it differs per person. So to actually go through that and then see the strength, how much strength that person has to even just show up, right? Get out of the house. For me, depression was a gift, like what Raya said. It taught me like people are fighting silent battles. Maybe one of you watching this right now, and you can't even speak up, right? And you're suffering in silence. So if someone says, "Oh, look at that guy. Yeah, he's so handsome. He's got the beard and all. Oh, he's also fucked up, just like me." Or they might relate more to Raya as a girl or someone who's going through BPAD or someone who has a different condition and they can relate. Like if you've ever been institutionalized, if ever you've been to a hospital, right? It's real. It's real. Like you're not alone. So it's a gift. Depression actually taught me also gratitude. So why I count my blessings every day. This is a secret that not many people know. If I stop doing that every day, I've been doing it for like 3 or 4 years already. Every day,
Wow.
1,000 days
Wow.
in a row. If I stop doing that, I feel like my mind will like kill itself. I feel like I'm gonna kill myself because my default thoughts are so dark, so negative.
Wow.
And that sounds very politically incorrect. Like if you tell that to your life insurance agent, to your doctor, to the world, right? But that's really how it feels. So how do you turn it into a gift? It made me realize other people are also going through so much pain and suffering in the world. And then a few crazy people like us,
Like
we
us.
admit it. Like we admit it. We stop lying. We just say I'm fucked up. And then someone will say, "Hey, uh, me too, pero I can't say it out loud eh. Why? Why not?" I got tired. I'm like, "Fuck this." Parang it's more tiring to lie. That's why I'm
Yeah.
here with you right now, Raya.
It's so tiring to put on a mask, and I'm just tired of putting on the mask of being a good girl, being a perfect student, being a perfect daughter, being all of that. I just want to be me and perfect in my imperfections, and I love myself, and I was never able to tell myself that before for the longest time. But you know why they brought me here? It was because I was dancing and prancing around and singing.
Okay.
And they thought, hey, that's not normal behavior. Whereas I was just happy and creatively expressing myself. I wasn't harming anyone. That was just me in like bliss.
Hmm. Yeah, and sometimes as Raya mentioned, we get judged. There's like a stigma. People will have perceptions of us. So it's very actually it's very difficult. It's very against like the grain, the programming, like how society does things to just do what we're doing right now. Now there's a fine line. I don't want to get down the rabbit hole. There's something called an Overton window. It's the simplest way of saying it is it's like acceptable behavior in society. So I'll I'll like explain it to Raya very quickly and you guys. So if I suddenly run out of the house naked, they might the police are gonna come after me.
Yeah.
Diba? Or like that. But if then here's the flip side. You're like, oh, but I can do it. There's always an exception. Well, if I was in UP Diliman, beside
On
the
an ovulation run.
oblation statue, I could actually do that. Like
Or
there's
for
a way.
instance, if you were in a nudist community, you could do that
Correct.
too.
Like you're in Australia. If I go to a nude beach, I could actually do that, and they're not gonna arrest me. So there's a way to be smart about it. So let's say this is what the clarity call is about. Like you could do it here. So if I want to express myself and listen to heavy death metal music and bang my head off, I'll have to put like soundproofing around the room. Otherwise, people are gonna get disturbed like the peace, right? So it takes creativity also. So Raya mentioned her challenge tonight is this. There are some patterns actually that are good, and I don't mind repeating them over and over again. Like exercise, something that's good for your health physically. When I take a walk for an hour or 2 hours sometimes, what I learned is it's actually good for my mental health. It's how I clear my head. So very quick,
Movement is always good to clear our head.
our, our head. So I just want to say thank you also to the people watching the live right now, Raya. So you're making an impact. And the replay as well. Thank you so much for tuning in and
You froze. Are you still there? You froze, Martin.
yeah, it okay, I'm
Yes.
back. So it just reconnected.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, my connection. So yeah, what Raya said is these patterns, when done with creativity the right way, it can actually be very healing, which is the challenge of why we're doing this right now. So Raya mentioned tonight in the hospital, she's trusting the process, and that's okay. Like you're just going through it. Maybe there's a better way. Um, when you said alternative or natural ways, which I believe in, I've Raya knows I've tried ice baths, breath work. I've tried like ayahuasca, cambo, So I've been searching for natural methods, like talk therapy. So it's what we're doing right now, by the way. And then I'll turn it back to Rai after this. If there are patterns repeating over and over that are not helpful or not supportive, Raya mentioned we have a choice. We can choose how to perceive it or how to handle it. So for depression, I chose gratitude journaling. I didn't know it was called gratitude journaling at the time. I just count my blessings every day and then I update it every time I have a new blessing. I might add this after the clarity call. Also, atrophy. I grew up skinny, ectomorph, skinny fat, skinny dude with a fat belly. The worst combo, no? So I had body dysmorphia. So I just kept running, jogging until like I was so skinny because I thought I was fat. And then now I want to gain weight, like muscle. So if the pattern isn't healthy anymore, then I can change it. I can change it. Why am I going to keep living like an anorexic, body dysmorphic person if it's not healthy anymore? So I learned to like eat healthy food. I learned that it's okay to like eat more, and I wasn't bulimic. I wasn't like vomiting and stuff like that.
I was bulimic, Martin.
So maybe that's even a more extreme level because I thought I was fat, even though I was skinny. If you look at my old pictures, so that's a pattern that I had to learn. Like, hey, maybe I can change this. I can like I call that the radical mindset. Because whenever I try to do iron will, which is like I just force myself to change, and I believe I feel this is why Raya reached out. It doesn't work. But when I tried a totally different radical mindset, so I'll give a real example, and I'll really turn it back to Raya after this. Is I tried to make my junk food. I used to drink Coca Cola for breakfast, and then
So
I
bad.
cha- I changed it to like chocolate milk, which is still a lot of sugar. Then I changed it to pineapple juice, which has a lot of freaking fructose, but it's still very sugary. So I tried to make my
Calamansi juice
calamansi juice. Yeah,
or ginger tea, ginger turmeric tea.
there you go. And then I tried shifting my junk food into like high protein, low carb, lean, clean food like that, it's still a work in progress. So you can change the pattern, by the way, if it's something repeating and it's toxic, destructive, or just plain unhelpful for you. Part of it, by the way, is what Raya and I are doing right now. Whenever we try to reach out to people and it's not helpful, well, I had to find people who could do this, as in this, whatever you call it, clarity call. I attended a Tony Robbins seminar. I had a random conversation with a stranger that was life changing. So, whatever label you want to call it. So, Raya and I were trying to make this less rare. Like, you can have conversations, you could have experiences like this. And you can reach out to Raya if you resonate with her, you feel it, that energy. Or you can reach out to me, Real Talk Lifeline, have a clarity call like this. This is a live example of us, as in we're live right now. Yeah. So I'll give it back to Raya. And if there's anything you feel about this that you still feel unresolved, like Martin, there's still this pattern right now repeating, and I can't get over it. Or maybe you're okay, or like whatever you feel right now.
I feel like I've been led down this path so I could understand more about people who are struggling with their mental health because so many people are, and it's not being talked about. And now, because I have lived in experience and because I have interacted with lots of people in hospital, I feel like I have gained such a wealth of knowledge and understanding, and I am able to actually connect to them and relate to them in some way, shape, or form. Um, I also feel like sharing because you mentioned earlier about your 9 year relationship.
Hmm.
I'm in a 10-year relationship, and we are in the process of perhaps separating, which
Mm.
is difficult and tough for me. So I am trying to navigate that and trying to find my identity, my real identity, and try to figure out like where that fits in my life because this is a controversial topic, but I don't know, it's just coming up, so I thought I would mention it anyway.
Hmm.
Have you heard of polyamory and polycules?
I heard of polyamory. So people probably heard of the term polygamy because that's multiple marriages. So polyamory is different. And then what's the other term you said?
So polyamory is similar, I guess. It's just having multiple loves.
Loves, yeah, because
And polycule is what like a molecule. You call it a polycule.
oh,
It can be any type of arrangement between any number of people who want to be involved in the relationship. But
okay.
for me, I feel like I don't know. It has just always resonated with me that my love is too. There's so much love in my heart that that is it feels as if one person might not be enough. Like I want to love more and be able to share more. And it doesn't like are we allowed to mention taboo things? It doesn't always need to involve like physical the
Mm,
act of
yeah, yeah,
intercourse or whatever.
yeah.
It can be whatever way, however way the adults in mutual consensus, it can be whatever arrangement that they choose to have. But I just feel like it's a more, I don't know, it's a better way of going about life because it seems like the traditional model doesn't seem to be working for a lot of people. There are a lot of people unhappy in their marriages. And the idea that you stick with one person for the rest of your life, that's tough because you grow and sometimes you grow in different directions, or sometimes one person grows faster than the other. So I just feel like it's kind of constricting, or like it doesn't feel expansive to me.
Yes.
Uh, like for me, true love means you love a person enough to want to see them happy. Seeing them happy makes you happy, and you want to give the world to them without your own ego getting in the way, and without your insecurities taking over. And um yeah, you just want to see them grow and expand, however that will look like. But of course, there should be trust, there should be respect, there should be, it's a sacred thing. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about the dirty, filthy, I'm not talking about any of those things. It's
Yeah.
a sacred arrangement. Do you know what I mean? Commitment, dedicated relationship arrangement. But yeah, I
Yeah.
just felt like I needed to mention that because it's so unconventional. But I'm pretty sure that there are some people who possibly also might feel the same way, that that the traditional way that we've been taught, it's not working. Why are there so many cheaters? Why are there so many? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I appreciate what Raya shared. That can be a total live on its own. And I'll just, if it's okay, Raya, I can share my side because Raya, I
Sure.
appreciate her side as a woman sharing it.
Yeah.
And as someone who's gone through a long term relationship. So where I'm coming from was, as Raya mentioned, my parents have been married for like 40 plus years. They're like in their 70s. I
Wow.
grew up Roman Catholic, like very religious, like the way it was like you get married forever, like that.
Yeah.
So I tried doing that and it didn't work out and it was very painful. I'm not saying I'm the worst example because I have batchmates. I'm 38 years old now. I have batchmates like from college that they're going through an annulment. I have high school batchmates also, a few of them, and some of them have kids already. So as Raya said, it's not working. By the way, when I discovered like an annulment can cost you like half a million pesos here, plus
It's
the legal.
expensive.
It's expensive, like financially or monetary wise. Aside from the legal, the lawyers, court hearings, and all that, uh, psychological, all that stuff you go through, it's very hard, right? So it's not really appealing. Just as Raya said, for me to go into a marriage after going through what I've been through, like I'm not as naive as I was, right, a decade ago. But then here's the thing, just very quick without going down the rabbit hole. I took up estate planning training around 2016, like that. So I discovered that marriage had a purpose in history, and it's not romantic. Because
Yes,
usually the
correct.
stuff we get
You
messed
are
up, yeah, we get messed up because we think of romantic, unrequited love, forever, happily ever after. Marriage was actually done for economic reasons.
correct.
So I won't
100%.
yun, I won't say political kasi that tends to be like people think it's manipulative, whatever. Nothing wrong with it. Economic reasons why. I'll go to the higher purpose. Marriage, the purpose was so you could have a family, a unit, to have kids. Because I could find my soulmate, my best friend, and we don't have to get married, right? So once you do have kids, as Raya mentioned, that sacred union, and again, this is just from my limited experience here on planet Earth and
Mhm.
going through the doctrine and my own life, it helps to have that so that the child is supported and they're more stable, right? So it made sense that way on a higher purpose level, on an economic level, so the child isn't abandoned, they have resources, money, education, a mother who is nurturing, a father who is working or is an example like that. So it was a model, and you don't have to follow it. Like people say, oh, the Bible. Well, there are people who become priests. There are people who become monks. There are people who become nuns. There are people who just live single, celibate like that. So no judgment. So when Raya mentioned,
Everyone has their own path.
yes, I'm also in the process of discovering my own path. Then the last thing I'll share, and I'll give it back to Raya after that on relationships is then how come people keep falling in love and looking for a partner? So I learned this. You could look it up in Real Talk Lifeline, the channel. It's shadow work. It's a human need. So the need for connection or love, the need for a relationship or a partner doesn't have to be romantic. It's a human need, and it's very deep rooted. Because unless you're fucking Mowgli from the Jungle Book or something, we're raised by another person. Unless you were raised by the wild animals in the jungle, the one you can live on yourself, you could feed yourself and everything. So that's why it's a human need. We have a need for companionship, relationship, partly survival, partly because Raya mentioned like love, growth, or expression. It's also it also fulfills those human needs. So you're not crazy for wanting, for seeking a relationship or a partnership or a person in your life. It's a human need. Just keeping it that simple. And yeah, there are people who live single in their life. They find those relationships, partnerships, friendships in different ways. Yeah. So that's what we're going through right now. So it's okay. Is
Connection is so important for us as human beings.
yes. And we're
This
actually
is
doing mhm. Go Raya.
this is the main reason people are unhappy and lonely in their lives as they get older because they get less chances to connect with other people because they get busy with work and there's not much chance to socialize, and the friends they used to have when they were kids, might have grown in different directions and they might not be able to relate anymore. So if you're watching and you have a good set of friends who are with you, who you can count on and rely on, like, I want you to take this opportunity to reach out to them and let them know how grateful you are to have them in your life, because they're not going to be there forever. Who knows when someone's last day here on earth is? Like, we never know. And so, like, we tend to put work above everything else, or earning money, earning an income above everything else. But really, at the end of the day, like, family and friends matter. And someone once told me that they interviewed people on their deathbeds and asked them what their biggest regret was, and it
Mhm.
was never about making more money or career. It was more about the missed opportunities they had with their loved ones. So
Yes.
yeah.
So Raya, what Raya just shared is very true. I also saw that regrets of people on their deathbed. They wish they spent more time with friends. Now, or I would just say people like the right connection. So if you're a type of person who doesn't have that many friends, as bad as that sounds, I could relate to you actually. Now, where I found deep connections or meaningful connections are like here right now, what Ryan and I are doing. Sometimes it was with strangers. Sometimes it was with just a few chosen people who were meant to be in your life. So I didn't know I would reconnect with Mark, with your cousin. And after everything he's been through, I didn't know until I reconnected in 2021 during the lockdown. So sometimes that connection you can find it again in a creative way. Instead of saying, how come I don't have friends? How come I can't have conversations like this with my family? And by the way, on newsflash, usually it's harder with family. So, and how come I can't have a connection like this? Because the way I speak with Raya, I would speak this with any other person. not a lot of people are ready to open themselves up this way. Why? Because I was learning like shadow work. In order for you to speak this openly, you gotta face your fucking demons.
You do.
Like,
You really
and
do.
anyone can use this clip. They can backstab you. They can manipulate you. They can try to destroy you. So you have to reach a point where you're like, fuck it. Like they could do that. They could use it against me. But you're in a place deeper, like what Raya said. You've gone to a place wherein they could try to kill you, but I'm already dead. So so that's why I joke like I feel like I'm on borrowed time. I'm doing real talk Lifeline because this is my mission work. Like if you kill me in the process of doing this, so be it. So be it. Let's go to heaven together. If I go to hell, fuck, then okay, if I deserved it, I'm still gonna fight for for being the best version of myself, doing what I'm meant to do here. So that's a pattern change that you can do. And as Raya shared, and I did, there are still going to be many dark days. So right now, we're turning that dark day into a little light. That's why when you look at Raya's podcast, the word light is in it, right? Even for Reacher Astra, that means Astra means star, right? If because I took up Latin, and a star is
That's
usually a
the
symbol of
song.
light. Yeah,
Yes.
like a north star, right? Like that. So you could turn your darkness into light, right? So you could change the pattern actually. And there's nothing wrong with repeating a pattern if it's a good one. There you
How
go. So,
you are experiencing patterns that you need to break, cycles you need to break, I
hmm
am here for it. This is what I
yes.
can say for masters in my neurotransformation therapy before I landed here in hospital because I was too much on a high, enjoying myself and dancing and prancing around.
hmm is there any pattern right now that you feel that you want to break or change?
I wrote this down and I'm writing it because I feel like many people will be able to take something from it. So when
hmm
I was made to reflect on this in a workshop, I wrote
Yeah.
down I am addicted to the drama cycle of relationships, breaking down
Ah,
and making up slash rebuilding. It feels good, but it's unhealthy. I just want a peaceful, happy, harmonious life with whoever it is who is meant for me.
okay.
And then, so that's with relationships. And then, with regard to myself and my personal self reliance, I want to believe in myself that I am capable of earning enough and more than enough to support myself and share my abundance with friends and family without burnout, without working too hard, all while still having fun and experiencing all the good things life has to offer. I want my person and I to build a good and happy life together, both individually, separately, and together.
Mm,
So, if I may just share, the fear that was holding me back was
yeah.
that I am not deserving of other people's money or that the value or service I provide is not worth much. And this is what I have been working on the past couple of days. Um, yeah, now
Okay.
that I know my worth and the transformation, because I've tested it time and again, like I have a track record of being able to prove that have been able to help people with what they're going through or what I say growing through. So,
hmm
on that note, like I am ready to attract clients who will happily pay me to help them with their problems in their lives
Oh,
And yeah, I just have to embody being an internationally certified and accredited life coach. And I have so many dreams, and the biggest dreams would be to backpack and travel across Southeast Asia and hold workshops, retreats, and events there, as well as in different parts of the world, in sacred parts of the world. So I just wanted to share that with you, Martin, and with everyone who's listening here. Like, this used to be a faraway dream for me. I never thought that I would become a life coach because I felt that life coaches needed to have their life in order, like they needed to be put together, which they do to some extent. But I felt like they had
mm,
to live perfect lives in order to be a life coach. And what I learned along the way is we just really have to be a few steps ahead of the people we are meant to help, and then we can guide their hand and hold their hand as they walk through the fire, or push through their upper limits and smash their limiting belief systems and fears. And we are able to make an impact that way. And I am so happy and grateful to have finally found something that fulfills me to my very core and essence, and something that I'm good at as well. So, yeah. I'm really grateful.
okay. So that's actually a really good way to kind of um wrap up, like, because we're almost at an hour. It's okay. It's
Give
all
me a
good.
second. I'll just say goodbye.
Yeah, yeah, no
You come,
problem.
you
All
come.
good. So while Raya's there, um, saying goodbye to her guest, and again, very, very open. You can see in real time what she's going through, as she was sharing earlier, right? In the hospital, going through her BP, AD. So I just want to share this while Raya is over there, what she shared, right? That when she said that she was addicted to drama, a cycle, um, not deserving, burnout, these patterns, which I myself also can relate to what Raya just shared. She also mentioned dreams, and I could relate when you said attracting clients who will pay me, being 10 years plus in life insurance, like sales, like as an agent. I remembered this line that hit me, and I think we're both in the process of going through it. The line is, your gift will make room for you. And this is something we're both in the process of doing. So, a real example was when I had clients, big cases in 2016, 2017, 2018. Some of the biggest cases came effortlessly. It took a lot of intention, work effort for sure. But it felt like a blessing that just came to me. And as Raya said, it takes a certain level of competency, like what we're doing right now. We're like highly intentional in this clarity call right now. We're not just like, you know, doing some weird, crazy, senseless stuff, right? There's meaning, there's intention. But it came to me. So there were moments like that, big clients, like $1 million roundtable clients here in the Philippines, how it happened. So what I've been doing right now with Raya is on my purpose, like what she's doing work that fulfills her spirit, her soul. It's what we're doing right now. It takes a process of reaching that point. Many people will say like Tony Robbins, he's so big. Look at this other coach, she's making six figures. Look at this other girl, she's made. But they went through what we're going through right now. Like Raya's the first clarity call I've had maybe in a month or something like that. I had another one face to face. That was really good. So usually it's like this, through calls, video. So I'm going through it. It's very humbling. The last thing I want to share, what Raya just from her opening up, her sharing is, as a coach, life coach, it's also takes a lot of humility for her
It
to reach
does.
out And this is me learning from Raya as well. So if people think, Martin, you're the facilitator, you're the life coach, diba? There's a student. I see it as a two-way thing. I don't
It's a
know if Raya.
collaboration, it's a co-creation. That's how I view it with my coaching clients as well. The coach is never better than the coachee.
So
They
I'm
help each
aligned.
other.
I'm totally aligned with that. Now, sometimes your coachee or your the person who reaches out to you, they really need a lot of help in that moment. So sometimes you're gonna be the reason or that person that could help them. But then I learned this as far back as a decade ago, 2014. I was teaching gun classes, gun safety, like that. And the students I learned the most from were like first timers who were women. Because I think women have less ego when it comes to guns or something. In my experience, the students, they're like blank slate, they learn, and they actually shoot better than me sometimes in the shooting range. So very humbling. Of course, they go there as a first timer trying to overcome their fear, learn how to use a gun, stuff like that. But I get as much also from the student, as Raya said. It's like a two-way collaboration. So anyone who feels like I'm a burden, I won't reach out to Raya. I feel like a burden, I don't want to reach out to Martin. You're actually helping us also. Not just financially or something if you sign up. You're also like helping
You
us a lot.
help us, you help us by enabling us to do the work that we know we were born to do in this world. And it's to help change and transform people's lives in such a radical way for the better.
Yeah. So
And
you
that will
as
just
Raya,
ripple effect. If you help to heal yourself naturally, your vibration and frequency will rise, naturally affecting the people around you. And that will
mhm.
ripple effect even further and further and further. And this is the work that Martin and I are doing and enjoy doing so very much.
Yeah, so to wrap it up, because we're approaching on an hour already, 57 minutes in. As Raya said, we also get better. So a cheesy example is like if you wanted to get fit, lose weight, go to the gym, and we're your instructor, we're also getting stronger, fitter, because we do it with you, right? When Raya went through this clarity call with me, it's not just her. Like I'm taking notes. There are parts that I had to feel deeply also. And you can go through training, just like what Raya, her gift is. If there's a client, a person who's going through BP, AD, or like deeper psychological, mental health concerns, I've gone through, let's say, depression, anxiety, like that. But Raya can handle a different level of person who's going through it, as you can see very transparently just from this clarity call from the video, not just the audio, right? So living examples of it. So to wrap this up, Raya, I know you reached out. I'm really mainly here for you. If people get something out of it, that's a bonus. That's a ripple effect. But you originally reached out because you were going through patterns repeating over and over, let's say on relationships like drama. So you don't want to repeat that over and over again. uh Feelings of like I'm not deserving, it's like your self-talk, the burnout or fear, which I could also relate to, by the way. And it's not easy to reprogram, to like just change that. By the way, a very quick input on that is that also has a purpose. So let's say the low self-worth or low self-esteem, it actually challenges us to be better, like to do more reps, to lift heavier weight, to do more work. Now there comes a point where the pattern is not healthy anymore. So The last thing I want to share with Raya on this, on the patterns, is I learned this from a co-facilitator in training from Royce, and I've been testing it ever since I learned this a few years ago, and it seems to be true. He said everything has a healthy and unhealthy expression. So I've been testing it to this day, and it seems to be true. So anger, people say no, that's only bad. Even Jesus got angry in the temple, got the whip out.
Exactly
He's like,
what
"Why are
I've
you?"
been saying.
Yeah, like the temple. Why are you like this?
Yeah,
Desecrating
yeah,
the place of my
yeah,
father. There's actually a
yeah.
good or a healthy expression of anger. Depression. What's a healthy expression? Deep rest. It reminds you, like, not just to rest. Why are
Yeah.
you keep repeating and doing something that doesn't make you happy? It's like feedback. So, and it also taught me to appreciate life, because depression for me is you feel a place below death. That's my personal experience of it. So for Raya, sometimes, you know, there is a healthy expression of it. I'll just read these last comments. There are two over here, but you can share as we wrap up. So here, just read Christine's comment. That kind of resonates with me. I have a small circle of friends, and I dearly love them. So, like right now, how Raya and I cross paths, again, crazy synchronicity. And then this is the last one. NBSB at 30 here, and life's been working well for me because my friends care for
Wow.
me. It makes life bearable and fun. So that's super key.
You
Why
are very
even when
lucky,
Raya reached out,
Christine. I will
yes.
say that. You are very lucky, Christine.
And by the way, I'll add to what Raya said. Out of appreciation, I'll also say, if life is not working, then let's make our own luck. Raya reached out.
Yes.
Right, I didn't
Yes.
land on Raya's lap.
Yes.
I wasn't a telepathic fucking mind reader that went, "Oh, Raya needs help, so I'm gonna like put her on the clarity call like that." So she looked for a friend or any person that could care for her right now. So you can do that too. Now, if you have your circle, what Christine just shared over here, that's a lifesaver. That's why I call this real talk lifeline. Like for me, this is a lifeline for me. So uh to wrap it up, by the way, Raya, I'll let you also end it. We're live together on this topic, and you can reach out to me or to Raya, because if you want to go on her podcast, right? Look up her life story, her challenges, and she can help you with that. You could also check out Reach Your Astra. That's the one on YouTube. I believe you have a channel, and she even has a website on that, so you could see the type of life coaching or the healing work that she's doing. So alternative. So you can look for Raya and then
The,
connect with
the
her on that.
website is www.reachyourastra.com.
Okay. I'll put that also up here while before we end. So reachyourastra.com.
Dot com. Yes,
So you
perfect.
can find Raya online and learn more about her. If you resonate with what you're going through, your challenges, reach out to Raya. So it's not all done through lives like a Real Talk Lifeline. It's not all talk therapy. Raya has done different modalities, sound healing. I've tried that. Yeah, I've actually felt that, and other methods, energy healing work like that. As Raya mentioned, there are alternative ways without the need of meds. These are like natural methods.
Martin, I'm going to put this out there.
Yes,
Since
yes.
I graduated from my neurotransformation therapy and then I am now a certified neurotransformation therapist practitioner, I would love to offer you some sessions when you're ready. We'll talk about it at a later time, but I just felt like putting the offer out there because I feel like it will really change your life, change your game like on a massive scale, on a massive level. So, yeah,
What's
I'm
this? Very
excited.
quick. Some people might have heard neurotransformation for the first time. Is that like NLP, neuro linguistic
It's
programming?
very similar to NLP. So you
Okay.
use timeline therapy and there are scripts, but basically you work on your limiting beliefs and fears and you clear all the negative emotions like anger, sadness, grief, shame, guilt, and that includes from all your past lives, from previous generations, from the time in your womb, from when after you were born, and you clear all of that just so you feel so much lighter and freer in the way you interact because they're all stored in our subconscious. And unless we release that from our subconscious will always affect our waking conscious normal everyday life.
So
So it's really
I
transformative work.
I understand what Raya just mentioned because of trainings I've gone through. Now, people who don't, and that sounds like overload. Just to keep it real, I did train with Tony Robbins, who has trained in NLP, neuro linguistic programming, closely related to neurotransformation. So that people who are like, what the hell are they talking about? Our subconscious brain is actually like 90%. It operates 90% of our thoughts, our automatic thoughts. So these are things that we don't consciously think about. If you automatically eat certain food, do certain things, brush your teeth in the morning or whatever, that's all the subconscious brain. The way you spend money, the way you shop, the way you exercise or don't exercise, the way you talk, the way you think, the way you feel, all of that is subconscious, the subconscious brain. Conscious brain is right now like I can make a choice. I can use my prefrontal cortex. I can, choose to do my free will like that. That's only 10%. So if you want to do a quick exercise on what the hell is my subconscious brain automatic, try doing journaling. Like just write down on paper all these thoughts that pop up, like mushroom, coffee. Is Raya drinking coffee? That's my subconscious brain. Um, Knitted sweater or whatever. Like it's just all the automatic thoughts coming up in your head. Raya looks like Mark's mom because I saw her last night while walking. That's a subconscious thought. So see, I didn't even have to think or whatever. It's automatic. So it's very powerful. You can actually change your life because a lot of our automatic thoughts are negative without our knowing, which I just shared, and Raya also shared her life story in this
It's
one.
because of the programming and conditioning. So it's not our fault. It's just the programming and conditioning in the of the society that we were born into, of the cultures that we were born into. And now that we are aware, it's our responsibility to change it for the
Yeah,
sake of our ancestors who sacrificed so much for us to be living the free lives that we get to live today.
correct.
We owe
Now,
it to them.
I agree with what Raya said. She just explained it. Now, for the skeptical people out there like me, if you're wondering why is it like that, shortest answer is it's fear-based. Why? Martin, you said there's a healthy expression and unhealthy. Fear is unhealthy. Fear actually has a healthy expression. It's survival.
It's
Now,
survival, correct.
survival is good, but it's also very limiting. So,
Mm,
past a certain point, like what Raya said, if we're not
mm,
growing, if we're not getting better, if it's just
mm,
survival of the fittest, what a way
mm,
to live, right? So
mm,
that's a pattern that we can actually evolve or shift in our life. So it's
mm.
not bad. It was there for a reason. But we're sharing with you things that for the first time you might be going, oh, okay. So that's why. So Raya, as we before we end this, I hope you've also helped me recognize patterns in my own life and some of them which maybe aren't helpful anymore, like drama. By the way, Does drama even have a healthy expression?
I
I'll
have
give
no
you a
idea.
so I'll give you a hint. It's hard to think of an answer sometimes, no? But as Roy said, everything has a healthy and unhealthy expression. Drama can actually fulfill a human need. It's a need for
Actually,
variety,
yeah, a need for excitement,
excitement. So that's a
a
better word. Well,
challenge.
excitement is actually good. It's healthy. Now, if it the unhealthy expression of drama is very easy to think of, right? It leads to manipulation. It leads to unnecessary bullshit. So we don't want that in our life. But yeah, I mean, drama is just like you watch a very good action movie. You watch The Shawshank Redemption or
That was
something
a
like
great movie. That was
right?
amazing.
The plot twist. See, that's a good example of drama.
That's a good movie. Yeah.
There you go. So that's a pattern change. And if you do have a good pattern, it's not it's not bad to repeat it, by the way. But Raya said you could choose. You
You
could
can
choose.
always choose. You should be 100% accountable and responsible for your own life. Be the hero of your own life. Be in the driver's seat of your own life. Don't
Mm,
play the victim. Because then you're
yeah,
just going to blame, oh, the government, oh, my parents, oh, my friends, oh, my cousin, oh, my culture, oh, this, oh, that, oh, that, oh, that. Like, do you want to live that way? Or do you want to be empowered and actually create the life you've always wanted for yourself? You have the power to do that. You well and truly do. But you cannot do it without the support of the right people around you. You need good support. You need true friends who will truly have your back. That's so important, incredibly, incredibly, incredibly important. So find your soul tribe, find your soul family, and you cannot do that if you keep wearing a mask. You have to take off the mask so that people can see who you truly are authentically. Then the right kind of people will gravitate towards you. Then you will be beginning to find soul family and soul tribe.
yeah. That would have been a perfect ending. I just want to end the stream now with after what Raya said. I'll just repeat actually in my own words what Raya said because
Go for it.
I resonate and I'll for me to repeat what Raya said, it shows that I listened and that I understand it. So when Raya said the word hero, I love that. So it's a choice. Failure is the default. If you don't believe me, look at nature. Like look at entropy or atrophy. Like the wood will decay, right? Everything rots. So being a hero means you can choose. And a hero isn't perfect. Look up Joseph Campbell, The Hero's Journey. So usually there's a part where we go through a dark a dark period in our life, a challenge, right? Slay the dragon or the demon, and then we have a chance to actually turn it into something good. So if there's a bad pattern, the default, you can choose a good pattern of the hero. So Raya also mentioned the support group though. So part of that are mentors, part of that are this. You can find people who can help you. You can find, sometimes you have a mentor, you become the mentor of someone, like the protege. You end up helping another person later on. So the last thing I want to end this with is, as Raya shared, how do you take the mask down? How do you allow people to help you? Just rewatch this, the replay, right? If at any moment I lied or like I was fake, you could bitch slap me in the face. And I think Raya would actually do that if she sends that like my so and I trust her, right? So we like that. So that's the only way, not just me or Raya. That's the only way the world will be able to help you. Because if I keep lying, for me that's worse. I would rather go through this hard, lonely path than live a fake life where people will just say, ah, he's okay naman eh, and then pretend. And then when I die or someone, Raya mentioned, someone commits suicide, you're always going to hear this line. We never saw it coming. Eh. Parang no one knew. Ano. You would have known if you just fucking listened. right? If you just opened your goddamn eyes, diba? Because for me,
Yeah,
it's
that's
becoming
true.
bright, right?
That's
Gas
true.
na yun eh.
You're right there.
So
Before
Raya
we
is
end the
actually
show,
helping me.
Martin, I
Yes.
want you to invite the audience, the listeners, to your Sagara breath training
Mm-hmm.
or ice bath facilitation immersion experience. If they
Mm-hmm.
want to, yeah, if they want to learn breathwork techniques
Yes.
and try an ice bath, cold immersion, go invite them. Floor is
Okay, so
yours.
I'll end with this, like something you can do before this clarity call ends. So Raya mentioned retreats that we do. So again, I trained with her cousin Mark, some resilience with Mark. I even came up with my very first workshop called Emotional Alchemy. So Raya already attended a prototype version of that with her good friend Dervin. So it's life coaching, but we also integrated an ice bath, a cold immersion into it. And there are other retreats coming up this year. So comment down below if you're interested to attend ice bath, cold immersion therapy, or the most immediate one that you can do if you can't meet up in person is just a comment clarity call down below, and what you will experience is what Raya and I shared with you tonight. Of course,
Yeah.
it will be tailor fit to your own challenge because your challenge could be totally different. And it doesn't have to be public. By the way, Raya was just so open and she felt compelled. She wanted to share this with everyone, with you guys, because it might help someone. So you can also comment clarity call, and this is how it's going to be, how we help each other. So I'll end with that, Raya. And by the way, please check Raya out on Spotify. Big Talk, Light Talk. You can check out Reach Your Astra. So Raya's name, RYA, at reachyourastra.com. Any last thing you want to share, Raya?
Just wanted to say I'm so grateful for you holding space for me tonight. This has been amazing. This has been awesome. My cup is full. I am happy. Thank you.
Thank you. We love you. And we will see you next